We're going to be talking to our guest today, Bob Chapman. Every Monday, we get an update on the financial situation because we want to find out what's really happening because for some reason we don't believe CNN's, happy days are here again. We don't seem to buy into that. Bob Chapman is the editor of the International Forecaster newsletter. You can get a complimentary copy if you've never obtained one. Get a complimentary copy by calling 877-479-8178. That's 877-479-8178. And you can figure out a lot more about what's happening because of the good advice and information that Bob Chapman provides. Well, Bob Chapman, things are really looking good now, according to CNN and all the financial info babe girls. They say things are getting better. Welcome to the Power Hour, and would you agree with that?
Well, good morning, and it's nice to be back again.
Thank you.
And I do not agree with that, nor do I agree with the scantily clad women that they have running around on television.
Yeah. Blonde hair, and, that's a requirement to be a financial babe now.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I like brunettes. Anyway, the latest is the man who was the tip of the spear, if you may, in the destruction of the American economy, Alan Greenspan, said today on CNN that the economy was going to grow in this quarter 2.5%. And, of course, this is the person who continually did not tell us the truth. And so I can't put much credence in that. We just saw figures that came out for the second quarter, and they said that, and it was interesting the way they did this, the growth in the first quarter purportedly had been the negative growth in the economy in the first quarter had been minus 5.5%. And they came up with the second quarter numbers, and they were minus 1%. But what they forgot to tell you is that in the interim, they revised the figure for the first quarter from minus 5.5% to minus 6.4%. And then we had a miracle. It dropped to minus 1%. I've been doing this for 50 years, and there's no way that you can drop from minus 6.4 to minus 1 as a GDP number in one quarter. It's impossible. Yeah. And now we're being told the rah-rah-rah lies, propaganda, misdirection by Alan Greenspan and others that the, quote, recession is over and everything is going to be wonderful again, just like you pointed out when we started in on the program. And so it's just a pack of lies. It's just as simple as that. And we're going to find out next year that the economy wasn't growing the way it was, and there'll be all sorts of revisions, and nobody will pay any attention. And, of course, the Federal Reserve, along with the Treasury Department, is in manipulating the stock market every day in very thin volume, keeping it up at its levels and maybe a little bit higher than it's been. And this is the game until they decide they're going to pull the plug and let it go down again. And it's a very, very dangerous place, especially for professionals. And the reason why is the manipulation, and then we have Goldman Sachs and other major firms front-running trades, and this is a scandal that's been buried already. I was on Coast to Coast AM Saturday night.
Oh, really?
And I just, I was, and I discussed it in detail. And this is common thievery is what it is. And these major brokerage firms, now banks, so they could get TARP funds, continue to cross the line and steal from everybody. And that's really what they're doing. The black box trading should be ended. It should be banned.
Now, black box trading is what?
It's computers making decisions as to what to do in the market. It started back in the early 1990s, a big scandal in 1998 when the two gentlemen who wrote the book on quantitative analysis received the Nobel Prize, started up a hedge fund which collapsed. And now one of them started another hedge fund and that collapsed. And these people are using analysis, algorithms, to decide what to do in the market. Well, 73% of the trades on the NYSE are now black box trades, which means if they weren't doing that, things would be considerably different. But what they did was, and it's my suspicion that Goldman Sachs' program came from the government out of INSLAW and Promise, which are two very advanced computer systems. I can't prove that, but I've been told by people in Washington that's where it came from. And in the New York Stock Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange allows these brokerage firms to put their programming, their computer, next to or near the computer that's handling the orders for the NYSE. So what happens is, as close as you are to the main computer that belongs to the NYSE, the quicker you get access to the orders. And they are looking at orders within nanoseconds. And their algos are predators. And what they do is they go in and they front-run the orders, guaranteeing small profits, like 1 or 2 pennies or a quarter of a penny on a trade. Well, if you're doing them, a million of those a day, you're making a lot of money. So this is what's been going on, and they're trying to cover it up. And I keep on getting on radio and telling people you're being looted, and these are the people who are doing it. At the same time, they try to keep the stock market up so that people won't complain, particularly the professionals, because the professionals are really the ones that are getting the hook on this, because they can't trade effectively because these people are in the market ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no level playing field at all that. And that's why black box algorithm trading should be banned.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and with respect to everything that's taking place right now, everything, everywhere, the stock market's going up, though. We're over 9,000. Things are looking good. It's back to where we can breathe easily now, or is it?
It's not. Nothing has changed. The banks are still continuing to cut back on their lending, minus 1% to 1.8% in the first quarter, minus 2.8% in the second quarter. You can't have any growth without lending so that business can function properly or expand. And on the other hand, you have business laying people off because the business isn't there. And so as long as the layoffs continue, no matter how much money manufacturing and service industries get, they really can't do anything constructive because the amount of consumption is dropping. It was 72% of GDP. It's below 70% now. And it's going to continue down because the biggest earning group, which are the people between 45 and 65 years old, they're saving their money. Savings is 6.9% of GDP now. And so Washington and Wall Street are in a quandary. And if people save, that's good. But people don't save, the economy will pick up again, but the debt structure will get worse. And also all of the bad debts to the banks by credit card holders and mortgagees will get worse. And so they're stuck. They're in a box. They can't get out, and there's no solution here until the system is purged. And they're unwilling to do that until they decide to do it. And they can do it anytime they want.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just astounded, though, at how they can continue this charade of, gee, we got to give away more money. Gee, we need another stimulus. Gee, let's give cars, cash for cars. clunkers program, on and on and on, give away all this money when in reality people don't understand that it's being given and put into hands of people that they want it in before the economy crashes. I mean, that's exactly what I think they're doing. And where are all of the financial gurus out there, other than Bob Chapman, speaking out on this?
They're afraid to, and especially the professionals on Wall Street, because, you'll be stigmatized and isolated because you tell the truth. And it's one of the reasons I shut down my brokerage firm and started the International Forecaster eventually. And, you have a conspiracy of silence. It's just like, once in a while you'll have a situation where a policeman breaks the law, and other policemen will either look away or say, no, he didn't, because this from some group, a group of law enforcement people. The same thing is true on Wall Street. You step out of line, you get a problem.